See, I can hear that. Just breathe normal. You know?
Normal. Whatever that means.
Yeah. All right. Welcome to the Higher Energy Superpower. This is episode 40 of the Turbo Duo Cast. I am your host, Salvatore Mata, and to my left is my brother from another game show lover. He is the oral assassin. He puts the ass in classic gaming. It's Trenton E. Wright the third, Double Esquire.
We got some games. We got a few of them.
We do. And
we got some games.
We have a Turbo Duo and a half with us as well. It's Salvatore, superstar, first practice today, soccer.
You're talking to me?
Mata in the building.
Is this dramatic? Is this supposed to be dramatic?
Welcome to the show, Sal.
I've been on the show since we started.
You look just frightening with your Five Nights at Freddy's shirt on. That you got lots of compliments for today.
FNAF.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, so we're back from Retro World Expo. It was
a hoot.
Let me tell you something. It was a energetic day. I'm exhausted.
Are there more sore feet than we got games?
So here's the that's a good point, and let's start right there. I always forget how hard that floor is on your back and on your legs.
It's just I mean
that concrete for just pounding.
I'm on my feet every day, for work. So
I sit in a chair and look at a screen.
So it's like you kind of get used to it in a way. But yeah, it is. It's just straight up cement. So if you're not wearing some decent shoes, if you're going to be walking around for 5-6 hours, it'll get to you.
I was wearing my Under Armours. I was wearing like something that I thought would be appropriate for the for the venue.
Hey, when you get to that 4-0 in episodes and age, it catches up.
We're right there, aren't we? That's right. Jeez. Wow, worlds colliding, got eclipses going on. It's nuts. It was, by and large, it was a good day, I would say. I don't know if we want to put a letter grade on it. I don't know if that even matters, but...
I don't know how to... I wouldn't know how to... Wait till the end of the show until we
I guess, dilute. It's always fun, right? It's always It's always a fun day.
I look forward to it every year.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I going to get? What am I looking for? Ooh, just to see things that I don't want, but are just like... I was like, oh, wow, I've never seen one of these.
Right. I don't know. I think if you guys don't mind, I'd like to just start with some of the interactions that we had with today. One of them being able to interact with Tim Kitzrow again
from one more time
from the NBA Jam. Yeah, I didn't know he was going to be there again, and he said this is where he wants to be. Like, this is where all the action is, and there's like so many great people that are a part of RWX, and just the expansion of this thing, and how and I was getting this feeling just watching YouTubers that RWX is starting to get a reputation of itself for a really great video game show.
Yeah, I think it took a while because it's Connecticut, so
10 years now.
Almost.
Yeah.
2000. Oh yeah. I think
14
next year might be the 10 year.
Okay.
Because it
about 10 years.
It was in Wallingford. It was either 2014 or 2015. It started.
I thought I saw a guy with a shirt today that said like RWX 2014.
Oh really?
I thought I did. Maybe not. I could be wrong.
Was he on the first one? Was he?
So Sal was 2 or almost 2 when they had the second one where I went.
Okay, so it probably was 2015 then, maybe
that it started.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember because the first few were.
Well, it's getting up there.
It was small, because the first one was in Wallingford, which is I don't know, it's way smaller than it is now. But it is, it's Connecticut, Hartford,
Did they have personalities back then when they did it in Wallingford?
Oh, people?
Yeah.
Geez. It's not a thing I really paid attention to because it's like I don't know. I'm not looking to go like meet them and talk to them. That's not my thing personally, except for like Tim Kitzrow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they did or not. I'm sure they did, But now, last year they had a lot of big names too. And
Retro Rick was there this year. Tim Kitzrow was there. Obviously, the guys that I wanted to meet were there.
Yeah.
But they had Jeremy Parrish was there last year. Just do it.
Who's that?
So he's a Retronauts guy. He does the NES Works anthologies where he goes through every single NES game and reviews them, and he's still doing it now. And he also does the kind of the side stories to that. So he'll actually go into the Sega Mark III and the Sega Master System and the Atari 7800 and he's probably the most preeminent journalist in the video game industry going back like 15 years. And then, you know, he's a historian, so he just brings a lot of that history to the video game knowledge base so that we can understand like where things came from and where maybe developers got the ideas for what they did. So it's a really interesting series. If you guys get a chance to check out Jeremy Parrish and the NES Works, he tries to go as chronologically as possible as there's record for.
All right. Did you I know we split up for a little while.
He wasn't. I don't think he was there this year.
Did you? I think the only other person you talked to was the guys from Retro RGB.
So I talked to Bob from Retro RGB, who's you know he's domestic. I mean, he lives in Connecticut. So
he does.
Yeah, he actually just moved back a few years ago. So
I thought he said he was like in Virginia or something. Did I hear something? He was talking to someone.
I'm not sure if he was in Virginia or not. I don't remember where he said he was, but I know that Steve is in Virginia. From Retrotech, Steve Nutter from Retrotech and he was there today, and so we had a chance to kind of.
I think that's who I was talking about.
Oh, Steve is from Virginia,
yeah,
but Bob from Retro RGB, which they're good buddies. Bob is from Trouble.
I got him confused. I didn't know there was two different.
Yeah, but those, I mean, and here's the thing about these YouTubers is that they're all normal people. I mean, we're not talking about actors or anything. So when you go up and talk to them, they're just super nice.
Yeah.
And they want to engage. Like they're just gamers just like us. So, it was just it was a real pleasure to be able to chat with him.
Even though we already met him last year, Tim Kitzrow.
But he is a personality.
No, I know he is a personality. But
he is an actor.
He's just all day doing the photos and autographs, boom, and like doing the videos. And
he just rolls them,
and he loves it because I heard him like talking. I think he mentioned it last year. How he's like I want to do stuff with the NBA because it's like the partnership between me and them and like the NBA Jam. I think it could be big, and that's like where. But it seems like he's having a little difficult time trying to get in touch with the right people there.
Right.
But I mean, the gaming conventions, I mean, there's always people like...
Yeah, I think My Life in Gaming was supposed to be there too. So...
Oh, I don't know. But I'm just saying, there's always people at his booth. And like, him and Jackson, they played like almost like a full game of NBA Jam on the arcade.
On the arcade.
Right next to him. And he was like looking at him. He's like he was like...
Well, he loved it. He was watching it.
No, I know.
He said it was great.
It's just like, he's like, I can't believe like this game came out when like we were 9-year-olds and like they're 9 and they're playing it, on the arcade.
Well, it just goes to show the longevity of those games, and why we still love those games that we played back then. So, but Tim is like he's truly a shining star when it comes to just not only what he represents from the past, but also just who he is as a person now.
The thing is, he like a lot of the other people there, like the Retrotech, like that's like a niche, like and some of the other stuff, but like he is like. I guess he's like the closest like thing to like
celebrity,
mainstream. Like anyone that's not even a gamer. If they they were at somewhere and he saw him there, they're like, "You're the guy that does the voice." So like, I definitely want I want to get a picture.
Yeah,
and like anything with him. You know what I mean? He's like he crosses over the video game area into like a more mainstream kind of character.
Right, because people have heard his voice from just their kids growing up or whatever. So, but yeah, so like. And just in the interaction there, like that's to me, that's part of why I love going to the conventions. It's not just looking for games, but it's interacting with these people that I watch all their videos, like or as many as I can. Yeah. And I pick up things. Like one of the reasons why I started soldering, like when I talked about in the last episode, was because I watched Steve, and like Steve does that stuff, and so it kind of gave me the confidence to be able to engage with it, and just watching. So they have a real impact on our lives sometimes. And so I also want them to know that, like, I want them to know like how important that was to my ability to kind of get on this new adventure, Yep. And, one of the things, like Bob from Retro RGB, like he was one of the influences for me, him and the Retro or the My Life in Gaming guys for getting my setup with the OLED. Right. But then Bob is like, and Bob and Steve are talking about CRTs again. You get that itch again to go back to the way we used to play them. And so now, like I have, the PVM, and like you've got the RGB modded Trinitron, which is stellar. And like now we're going back to playing games like that. So like that's one thing I want to talk about eventually is just like the kind of the more modern setup versus the retro setup, and kind of maybe the differences, but we'll get into that. So that part of it was excellent, and we got a couple of pickups, I would say, or things that we grabbed from there. From Tim. So last year I got the 8.5 by 11.
Isn't it back there?
And then you got another one too.
Yeah. So this one I got today, which I'm excited about because this is the this is the NBA Jam marquee.
Yeah, on like a, what is? I'm trying to think of the word for that. That is
this material. I don't know.
It's like the stuff we like kind of print on.
What do you use for your graphic stuff?
Yeah, it's like a.
Oh, whatever, like a vinyl plastic type of material.
It's not quite. No, I for some reason I can't.
That's all right.
I use it all the time. Did he sign that one too?
Yeah, he signed it, and
nice.
he put Boom Shakalaka on it.
Oh, that's perfect.
It's kind of dusty.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a film. That's on that cell. So I have to. I'm thinking about either probably framing this and putting this up in the room somewhere.
Oh yeah, you got it.
And we were chatting with him too because we would, and we'll spill the beans with you guys. We'd really like to see if we could get a regular intro for our channel and be able to have somebody like Tim, who we love, and that commonality that we just love this game, and maybe get him to do the intro to the Turbo Duo cast, which I think would be excellent.
Yeah, that'd
kind
be
of like
sweet.
The next evolution of the show in a way. Kind of like when RGT85 got Stevie Richards to do the intro for
Is that
for his
Stevie Richards?
Was he there? He was there. Wasn't he supposed to be there? He was another
he was
one.
there last year.
Oh, last year. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't remember seeing him listed.
Okay. But yeah,
he's actually local now too. He's in Connecticut, I believe.
RGT?
Yeah, or
he's from New York, right?
Or right around Connecticut, because I remember seeing a couple of videos where he moved recently and he sold his collection.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he's in Connecticut or near Connecticut.
Sorry, I'm making a lot of noise, guys. Stuff is picking it up.
Could have just put it off to the side. You got to roll it back up.
I don't know why I had to do that.
Sometimes we don't think, but that's fine. Is there anything else that before we get into the pickups?
Yeah, I think.
I mean, it was pretty much on par with like last year. They had the wrestling events. They had. It's like every year we say we want to play some of the arcade games, but it's like.
Well, I want to talk about the arcade games. So I want to talk about the arcade games real quick.
All right, well, we can give it.
Just because it's kind of a adjacent point to the Tim Kitzrow conversation, because we saw a arcade game there that I've never even seen before.
It's funny because I don't know if they had it last year, but I've seen a video on it, and what the game we're talking about is called The Grid
by Midway.
So
and he did the voice.
Yeah. Picture it as like it's almost like it's like a one-on-one Fortnite in a way, right? You're just in like an arena.
It's like virtual on.
Yeah, you have a joystick and a trackball
for aiming.
Yeah, and
I took a video of it, so we'll put it.
I'm just saying people listen to the audio too, so it's
the people of the audio we don't care about them. No, I'm just kidding. We love you guys.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to explain unless you've played a similar game.
It's an arena shooter. Where there's different levels, there's bridges, and you're just trying to track down the other character, and you have to get like a bullseye. You really got to shoot him right through the chest, or else it's not going to be a hit. And basically, each hit is a point, and the player has to get respawned. And there's a timer.
It's like 3 minutes or 5 minutes.
Whoever ends up with the most points, aka the most kills or knockouts, is the one who wins the match or the round.
Yeah, and it has like the graphic style of like Blitz from like the 2000 era kind of game. I don't know if it ever officially came out or if it was just like a limited
for an arcade.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if that was like
I'd never heard of it.
Well, that's
before.
what I'm saying. I don't know if that was one of those like where they had made a bunch of test cabs or something.
Yeah.
And it also had some of the arcades had like the dial pad on it.
Yeah.
With the numbers, which I think was like a thing
for
where
your
you
character
could put, like,
profile,
a code or something in like they had. yeah, I mean it's pretty fun. I was like, man, if they would have made this with like more play, like like a home conversion, like on the PS2 at the time, because they had online and they have like multiplayer, it'd be a really fun game. Especially because I mean, the novelty of using the joystick and the trackball is kind of cool, but ideally it'd probably be better with like a like twin stick and a pad.
To me, like the Virtual On setup would have been great, like with the twin sticks.
Yeah.
That you either pull, opposite to turn. They had those Egret 2s from Taito. They had the Sega Astro Cities. Like those cabs are so cool because you can sit down and play. You don't have to stand.
Yeah,
which is kind of nice. And just like that vertical oriented screen.
I've never seen any of those before.
Yeah, then they made the Egret Mini, which you could buy. That was like a retro release console that Taito did.
I probably saw that.
Yeah, and I'm just not really about that emulated.
No, they're novelties.
Yeah, but to see the cab in person and see like the shooters that were going on, and it just gave you a sense of like what it was like back in the day to play on that, and not even here, probably in Japan, I imagine.
Yeah.
But that like pinball never gets old. Like it just seems like
for some reason I don't know. I've always loved pinball games.
Have you seen like the price of like a pinball machine lately?
Like the newer ones, or
no, like those old ones. They're like they're like 10 grand.
Oh, I mean, I don't know.
For like a nice old.
I haven't seen any of that. I mean,
yeah,
that's a little crazy to me. But
could we put one in
I've seen it $2,000, $3,000. I was playing Friday the 13th, which is pretty cool. I've never played that one. And the one I wanted to play, it's like a dummy. Now I can't forget.
Crash Test Dummy?
No. It's like a ventriloquist dummy or whatever. It's like a haunted house kind of thing. And it was working earlier in the day, and I was like, I wanted to play that because I would always play that when we went on vacation at this hotel in New Hampshire. And then I went back later. It was out of order.
Was it like Creep Show or something?
It was like House. I can't remember the name of it now. I'll put it up. I'll remember it. But yeah, it was out of order. I was like, of course. But I played RoboCop, which is actually really fun.
RoboCop 3?
No, just the first one, arcade.
The arcade
RoboCop. Yeah.
It's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah,
right?
It's pretty good. I mean, standard. Run. You go to the left and right, punch some guys, and you get your gun, start shooting them. But it plays well.
You have to punch first.
Yeah, and then like some part of the level it just stops and it goes. And the gun pops out of his leg.
Oh,
and
nice.
You can start using it. Yeah.
That's a Data East, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That one's pretty fun. I mean, that's about all I played was that Grid, RoboCop, and then pinball. But it's just like you'd almost have to go to like an arcade convention to like where it's just like arcade games everywhere. Just because there's literally always people playing like every game. So it's
I always get overwhelmed by the amount of arcades there are.
It's like when you got emulators on a memory card. You have 3,000 games to choose. Pick one. Yeah, there's just so many. There's like every game you want to play. I almost
feel like I would be more deliberate about it if I had coins in my pocket that I had to actually spend.
Well, obviously, yeah, because you can only
because they're all free to play. So it's like, which one do I do? Like,
but there's always people waiting. Like House of the Dead, there was always like people playing, and then like 2 people waiting. So, it's.
What did you think of that House of the Dead 2 cab, Sal?
I didn't play it. I wanted to.
I'm saying, what did you think about it? The way it was set up, where the screen was in the back, and it was
cool.
Wasn't that cool?
Have you ever played it on arcade, the House of the Dead, or just like the newer one, the one that's like Dave and Buster's?
Scarlet Dawn. I think it's like the 5th one.
Yeah. I mean, so usually same thing every day with the arcades. We want to play them all, and we play one for a few minutes, but that's fine because we get so much fun out of everything else that it's whatever.
Yeah, it's tough because there's so much there, and you also when talking about like the gaming pickups, you can go around a couple of times and miss things. So it's like you almost feel like that. It's almost like a FOMO. It's like, did I miss something when I was out there?
Like, these don't look familiar.
Which clearly happened. Like that clearly happened. And when you're running after 9-year-olds. To make sure that like they're with you, because that's the problem with going to these conventions as a group is like you get there, it's like, all right, we're gonna stay together. 2 seconds later, everybody's gone.
Yeah, because you're like looking at something for like 20 minutes,
and then you see something out of your eye, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna go over here real quick. That never. And
then everyone else goes the other way.
It's like saying you're gonna go into Costco and buy one thing. It's just not gonna happen. So
not gonna do it.
I don't know how I got on that topic, but I think it's because I was talking about how we spend so much time in the games area to try to like buy games, and we'll get into that discussion now. It was cool to see Gangrel from the WWE.
As he says, fanging and banging, man.
Yeah, is that what he said?
Yeah, he's got the fangs.
He did have the fangs, yeah. And we got to see him at Bear's Barbecue afterwards, and
Yeah.
you got to chat with him a little bit on the way
I was
out.
asking him if he was ever going to sign like a Legends deal with the WWE or Mattel to make an Elite figure, because he hasn't had like an official one from WWE. As far as I know,
Since late 90s?
since his Jax figure, from like way back in the day. And I know I forgot because I wasn't really thinking. There's a guy, Zombie Sailor, who started doing these like Hasbro style figures, like really, really extremely detailed, really nice. Oh, they're expensive, but I know I think they pay like the wrestlers like fairly well. So I'm assuming he got some decent money off that and some other stuff. But yeah, it's like he doesn't because I have like a whole like if they would have made like a Brood set with like Edge and Christian in their old like the
long
white
hair.
gear. Yeah. But yeah, he seemed cool. Yeah.
He seemed like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
No, that was so that was pretty cool. And then I guess the thing that's left to talk about is the show floor. I mean, there was the areas where people were playing games like on console.
What? What is it?
Get it off. Get it off.
Why do you have-
Roll it because you don't want to damage the side. There you go. I didn't see any computers. Normally, there's like some computers there that have like some of the old style games, like the old retro, like Compaq and like Packard Bell and like
I don't
those.
even remember. I obviously remember seeing them
Apple
in New York.
II. There's some but
You
last
saw
year
them at RWX?
I think they were at RWX last year too.
I mean, we only went through like that
Maybe not.
gaming area. I don't remember seeing them. I mean, you may be right.
And then they have that.
We just kind of went through it like real quick.
They have that
area.
stage. Like I never go in there. I don't know what they're doing. They had like costumes. Maybe they're doing like a cosplay contest or something.
You mean that it's like blocked off the stage with all the seats?
Yeah.
Well, that's where they do the panels.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Which we've never been to.
No, I don't know. Like, that stuff. I mean, it's just not. It just doesn't interest me that really. Just to it's just like if it was
Our
like
time is so limited there that it really is about, okay, what do I really want to do here while I'm here? And it's almost like certain things have to fall by the wayside. I wish we could. It'd be great if we could be there for 2 days, but it's like after a while you're just like you start to feel like you're in a casino and you're just like there's no clocks,
Where's the light?
There's no windows, like it's time to go, but no, I mean so I mean, I guess let's get into the show floor. Let's get into the main event. I mean the
meat of the matter.
The show proper. You walked in today, and then Steve had that amazing setup of all of those CRTs.
Yeah, something playing on each one.
Like 8 of them or 10 of them, like one on top of another, and they were all playing something else. He showed us the setup. It was like just a convoluted mess of consoles, VCRs, laser disc players, and just...
You need 27 outlets to plug all that.
Yeah, he's like, I don't have any more power. He's like, I wanted to plug in like one last TV on top of this thing over here. And
He's probably got them all plugged into some cheap like Walgreens like
Surge
strip
protector.
outlet, from like 1992.
You need that heavy duty Radio Shack one that's built like a box.
Yeah.
All right, well, why don't we get into it
I
then?
really want to show you and the audience this.
You got a microphone you can speak into.
That's what the show is for. I don't know if you
You've been
realize
breathing into that microphone this whole podcast, and the time where you're actually going to open your mouth, you look at me.
But I want to show this to you and everyone.
Well, I know,
Yeah.
but that's what we do. That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing right now. So let's get into
You
it.
don't know what this is.
Now before, all right. So right before we get into it, all right, I want to get your guys' perceptions of the show in terms of the game stuff. Like we always talk about like the sellers and like
I was kind of mix that in because it kind of goes with like the first thing I got.
Let's let Sal's really excited to show this poster.
Oh yeah,
and I want to get that out of the way too because it makes a lot of noise. So how about we do that first, Sal? Let's show everybody the poster because I've not even seen this yet.
Tell the people
and before you open it, tell them the story behind this. Like what are we looking at? What is this thing, and why is it so cool?
I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Then open it up and then tell us. It's a poster, right?
was
How about you just
$2.
mime it then? Mime it.
It's a $2 poster. Okay.
Well, you said you wanted to tell everyone.
Yeah, I do. And
Well, wait, hold on. What is it?
I'm not telling you. I'm going to show you right now.
All right. Do you want me to hold it up behind you?
Yeah.
Solid pod.
Oh, is that Fortnite?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but you got to say it as well.
the best game in the history of
Fortnite.
Fortnite. Oh, that's perfect, Sal. Do you want to frame that?
I don't know, sure.
What? I mean, what else would you do with it? You gotta frame it, right?
We'll do that. That looks awesome, dude. You excited about that one?
Yeah.
Did you get any more posters, or was that the only one?
I thought you got a... No?
It said 3 for $5, but there was a Minecraft and Roblox one, which I didn't want, so I just grabbed that.
And he gave it to you for $2? That's awesome.
Oh, I thought... because you had them all in your hand. I thought you got them all.
It's a pretty glossy poster. And of course, this kid, it's Fortnite or nothing.
Hey, hey.
Oh, it's got the tomato head guy on here.
Oh, tomato paste.
Did it have Team Cuddle Eater on there?
Oh, Team Cuddle Leader. You can't forget her. So yeah, Fortnite is on pretty regularly in this house, guys. It's very competitive. There's a lot of yelling. And it's something that me and the little guy can do together.
PS4, PS5, Xbox
Everything.
One.
It's on everything.
It's on everything.
And
Switch. Yeah.
Steam, PC.
No, it's only on PC. It's not on Steam.
Oh,
Cool.
okay.
So, and there were some vendors there doing the poster thing, and
doing the poster thing,
the decal thing, which is one of the things that I wanted to come away with was some vinyl stickers. So
stickers.
These ones.
You want to go through it?
Oh, look! Speaking of, what do you have there, sir?
What?
I noticed something on the table. What are those?
These are vinyl.
What are these? What are those?
No, we're still talking about those.
So this
what do
is
you have there?
One of our favorite modern games.
Five Nights at Freddy's. Vinyl stickers.
And these are vinyl stickers, so these things
Freddy,
will last.
Foxy, Chica, Bonnie.
Yeah, and
I took a picture with Bonnie.
Yeah, we'll put that here. Sal got a picture with, was it Broken Bonnie or Destroyed Bonnie?
Withered Bonnie.
Withered Bonnie. Some cosplayer had an amazing costume.
And then Superstar Daycare.
That's Five Nights at Freddy's too.
From
Daycare
Security
attendant.
Breach, right?
Oh.
I talked about in the last show that I wanted to have some stickers for the
table.
our little
Chest
But I put-
drawers.
I-
coffee table here
but
that
I
has all
put-
the controllers in it.
I put the cheaply made Security Breach ones on there.
That's okay. Do you want to go through your little fidget spinners here too? What are they called?
Gibbets.
Giblets. Anybody that has
Crocs.
children who have Crocs knows that.
That's just children.
Oh yeah, there's other people that do it. I didn't know those. What's going on?
Those are adult children.
What are you doing?
I want to show it to them.
You're gonna go up to the camera?
Yeah.
Okay, you dropped one though.
It's gonna please don't. It's gonna take out the focus and then it's gonna ruin. Okay, don't do it. So you have your giblets. What kind of giblets?
Sal, I
did you
took a
get?
picture. Remember?
No, you did.
Yeah, I did. I took a picture. We're gonna put it right here.
You're lying.
I'm not lying. I took a picture of it.
So what are these? What are these giblets that you got?
Yeah, giblets.
There's a Dunkin' Donuts one.
Yeah,
A Minecraft pig.
Nice.
gotta have the Minecraft pig
A YouTube one.
because we're on
The YouTube logo.
YouTube. What
A
else?
shrimp.
Just a shrimp.
Is that like a sushi shrimp?
It's your generic.
It's a
shrimp.
Popeye shrimp.
Oh, it's like a Pokédon shrimp.
One of my favorite candies, a M&M. The
Yes.
guy. Yeah.
So you had a bag of M&M's today. That's what helped you get through the day.
The orange
did.
M&M.
And then, I don't
What is
know if
that
this
thing?
is softball or baseball.
What is it? Oh, it's a glove and a bat.
A glove and a bat.
And a ball.
A glove and a bat and a ball.
KFC.
Colonel Sanders.
Colonel. That's what every croc needs.
and a donut.
And a donut. I told you that story about when my dad met Colonel Sanders, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Can I grab a
My
tissue?
father worked at KFC,
Oh.
and the Colonel came in
What are
like
you doing?
the late
Grab a
70s.
tissue.
Surprised they didn't have a croc for a croc.
So careful with the cords, buddy.
Like the PlayStation 1 game, croc.
Oh,
For your croc.
that would be fantastic if you could get Crocs.
Only like 4 people would know what that is.
I love the game Croc. You know my history with the game Croc.
It's a croc, all right.
Yes, it is.
All right, you want to blow through that real quick?
Yeah, you might have to blow through the cartridges when you pull it out of this. So these are I got what was it, 6 of these for $10, which I love getting some of these Nintendo cases. These are the clear Nintendo protection cases, which you would find normally in like rental shops, right? These would come from?
I've never seen them there.
Well,
because the Stop and Shop had their own. Every other place they had their own.
So these are from Toys R Us.
Well, you could just buy them from Toys R Us.
Yeah, they were 89 cents at Toys R Us whenever.
On clearance.
Yeah, or that's what they retailed for, which was kind of interesting. But so I got 4 of these, which I always love these because they're just that.
I know. I never seen
they're that next
the
level,
multicolored ones.
They're that next level of an NES game protection. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, these were it was one of the earlier things that I got, and it was just one of those. It's like, gotta get on the board,
I just need something to get the momentum going.
Well, that was the thing, is like the early part of the day was like tough, and this happens almost every time where I don't really get something until like the second half. Remember, we talk about there's before noon or 12:30 when before you get lunch, and then there's after lunch, and it's typical. I think last year I had like a manual before lunch, and then
nothing this time,
and then I ended up with a bunch of stuff.
Maybe that was it, and then the controller things we got. But that doesn't count as,
Oh, that's right.
The $2 controllers.
Oh yeah,
that doesn't really count.
Yeah, no, there was like a box of like untested, as they said, controllers and extension cords.
Untested.
Well, the reality is that we did test them, and I got 2 controllers. You got 2 controllers.
But they were $2 each.
We got no controllers,
and we were both 1 for 2. One of our controllers worked, one of them didn't.
I just needed them just because I have a couple extra Segas. And I guess I ran out of controller. I guess
which I fixed
through the older ones,
the controller port on.
No, I'm just saying. I thought I had like a ton of extra controllers, but I must have got rid of them through other systems I sold because I only have 5.
I feel like I have like 30 Genesis controllers.
Like I only have 4 now. Like
if you need one, just.
I thought I did too. I was like, this doesn't make sense. Where am I? I must have sold them. So just trying to find some cheap controllers to put with it. So $4 for one, and maybe you can tool around with the other one and get it working. But either way, it's kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
Take a chance.
Yep, I hear you. So, what do you got, Trent? You want to go with your first one?
Yeah, I'll go with my first set. So, which is actually a miracle. I was one of the games I was looking for, actually. Which is gonna let me indulge.
Are you going in the order of what you got?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or at least on this, just because it was the first one.
Mm.
Which is the price discrepancy on a lot of stuff there was odd. Actually,
we should address that here as we go through.
That's what I'm going to do. But this was the first,
because it wasn't just these games.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. So this is actually it was pretty much like the first booth where I actually saw something I wanted, which I had mentioned on the podcast, which I actually called it Target Earth. But I
knew what you meant, because Target Earth was on the Genesis.
So I grabbed To the Earth Complete for the NES, which is not like a really well-known game, but my friend Johnny had it, and I remember playing it a lot. So I was like, it's not. You said you had a loose cart that you were just going to give me, but I was like, it's only like a $20 game. So
that's what I'm curious about, because it seems like you might have a few NES games here. I don't want to spill the beans, but you're getting into the NES games.
Well, it's just
box. Tell me more about that.
Tell me more.
Well, because it's just
how are you feeling about that?
It's just a dicey proposition to start to get into, like any Nintendo.
Well,
box
it's because
thing.
We're at the point where I've got just about every other stuff I want. Like Super Nintendo games are just ridiculous for a box game, you know, and 64.
Right.
So if there's some decent games on the NES I can get for fairly cheap, it's like it's like $100 for, I don't know, I just not really into spending, not right now, $100 or $150 on a box game, especially when like a lot of times the game loose is like $10.
Right.
So it's like, geez, I'm really paying almost $100 for the box.
No, the manual and the case, just like on some of these games, just like
So To the Earth, it was $20, which is basically what it goes for.
That was the first one you found?
Yeah, and they also had, which wasn't really a game I was looking for, I actually have it already with the manual, so I can just sell that for whatever, which is Rad Racer 2. I got complete for $20, and then
the difference is what you paid for the box. Whatever you get for it.
And then I just told him, hey, would you just throw this game in for free, which is another game I had back in the day on my Game Boy Radar Mission.
Oh, he threw it in?
Yeah, it was only $3.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was like, would you just, if I buy these two, would you just throw this game in?
What is that?
It's like a battleship, but more, it has more like graphics to it than just like, the grid and everything.
Oh, okay.
It's just like a little step up from just
But
like
you have to
regular
pick. You have to
battleship.
pick like B4 or
Yeah. It's just a little bit. It's it's just called radar mission. But that was another game I had back in the day. So I was like, let's just throw it in, So what I want to say is that To the Earth is a $20 game, and after we were going around a little while, like someone else had it for $35, and then like I saw someone else that had it for $40. I was
was
like,
it 40 or 30?
well, no, I saw someone had it for $35, and then someone else had it for like $40, and it's just like it's like a $20 game is like the maximum it's worth. So it's like
Right. You mean complete?
Yeah.
Were the others in better condition?
No, they were. I mean, this isn't
Who makes
perfect. I don't know. I think it's
it
it's just
Nintendo?
Nintendo. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Nintendo. It's
Like a rare like in the way of like like nobody think of it as a first party game to the Earth.
light gun game.
Yeah.
But it's like $35 and it's like it's almost double what it's worth. Like where do you even come up? I don't even know where you come up with the price like that.
If you're getting like any game in box, it's not like Tetris 2 for NES, like 2 games for $40 with a Game Boy game.
Yeah,
it's hard to argue with that.
No, I know, but then what I'm saying is like people, it's not like a valuable game, and it's like $35. It's like it's almost double what it's worth.
Well, I mean, we talked to that one vendor because there was one of the games that I got, like the price discrepancy was from like anywhere from like what I got it for to like $130, which is a $50 difference.
Yeah. Well, there was that one. Yeah, we were kind of both looking for, because I mentioned it was the Donkey Kong on Game Boy.
Oh yeah.
And that one guy had it for $39, and it's like
it's a $22 game.
It on a good day, like
on eBay.
I just on eBay. I was looking. It had like a copy had just sold like an hour before that for $15 plus $4 shipping.
And we're saying that like with shipping, right?
Yeah. So $19. Like it's like $20. Like $20 would be
and if
what it's worth.
If you back out what they would have to pay in fees, you're talking about
you're gonna get $12 for it.
You could make a deal for 15, and be happy with that,
But no, I mean I would pay $20 for it. That's whatever,
If it's there,
yeah, no, I know.
That's at least fair.
But that's like it's $39. You can't even make an offer on that. That's reasonable.
And I told him, and I was trying to be respectful, but I said like, hey man, I don't know how to like have this conversation with you, but like, online, this is going for almost half of what you have it for. Like, what is the deal with why you guys need to charge so much? And he's like, the reality is that like they make us pay a lot of money to have the booth. And then the other guy was telling me, well, yeah, the other thing too is that they don't tell you is a lot of these are like video game stores that come here, and then they bring their employees, and they have to pay their employees while they're there. And so it's like, all right, well, the whole idea for us as the buyers is that like we want to come in and actually get good deals and make deals, and it's like it almost takes like the fun out of it a little bit.
If you're like
when you
40% over what it goes for.
Well, here's the thing: you can't even make a deal with somebody like because immediately it's going to sound insulting.
Yeah.
So you almost have to like just walk away, and like that like when you want a game, that's kind of crappy.
Yeah, I had that with a figure I bought, and I ended we can mention it after. Yeah, you wanna that was my first set of pickups.
Yeah,
and then I guess you want to indulge on your next piece?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go in order of what I think is like interesting.
Just do like 2 at a time, or
I can do that. Yeah. So a couple of them here. The first one that I got was and I don't even know. Maybe I should have checked, but I was like, I don't even care because I didn't have anything at that point.
You were like, I just want a game.
Yeah. Oh, this one I didn't even notice has a glue on the front. I might have to try to see if I can get that off. But it's the Tengen cart of Alien Syndrome. It's a Nintendo game that is actually a Sega game that was redone by Atari, made for the NES. So this is the black cartridge.
All different ways to get there.
And there's some of these games like Fantasy Zone or Shinobi or Vindicators is another one. I don't know if
I think I have.
I don't know if that's a Sega game, but Alien Syndrome is another Sega game, and this is a case of the NES, sort of unlicensed cartridge is actually a better game than the actual Alien Syndrome on the Master System. just because of how the room to room movement is and kind of the mechanics and the difficulty. This is a much more well constructed game than the Master System one. The Master System one is kind of a disappointment. And it's also a little bit more restrictive because you need a Master System controller to use it to play the game. It's one of the 5 or 6 Master System games where you need a Master System controller. You can't play it with a Genesis controller. No.
Oh.
Yeah, you can't.
I don't. Well, I mean, that's kind of
So,
whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, he had it for 18, and I didn't say a number. I just said what's the best you can do, because that's what I ended up having to say with a lot of these people is what's the best you can do.
Yeah, it's the why don't you tell me?
It wasn't, hey, will you take this? It was I just want to see what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
You know. And so he said $12, and I was like, okay, good. I had a 10. You gave me a 1, Sal.
And I gave you a
Trent,
wand.
you gave me a wand, and so that was a nice way to try to kind of pick up the day a little bit, because for the majority of the day, you know, I think I had like really only one game. I mean, I think going into halftime, did I get this?
We were down by a lot.
We were down by a lot. Did I get this one before halftime?
Where did you get that from? I don't remember.
It was sort of in the middle. It was like towards the side wall where Ryan was, just like halfway down. There was a booth right there.
I don't remember, honestly.
I think this was before halftime.
Because you got it when I split off from Vimeo.
Yeah. So this was. I think
just mention it right now.
Yeah. So, yeah. So this was before halftime. Again, some of these games, it's like. You didn't plan on getting this game, but it just happened that way. So, you know, you watch a lot of YouTube videos and you see, oh, this is a good game. This is an underrated game. This is one of them that I've always been interested in. It's like a platforming shooter, you know, sort of like left to right game, and kind of a interesting one because it's a Master System game, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like a Genesis game.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
And that is Cyborg Hunter, complete in box. And it's like a side-scrolling action game, and it's supposed to be pretty decent. It's supposed to be pretty good. So I'm excited to fire this up. It's like an Activision produced game. The other one that looks like this is Bomber Raid.
I'm not familiar with this or Bomber Raid.
Yeah, and Bomber Raid is another one. It's the sequel to River Raid.
Okay, I know River Raid. Yeah,
and that is one. Bomber Raid is one where you need the Master System controller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So so it's complete. Yeah, I got it for $20. I don't know what this goes for, but I feel like any Master System game worth
that's not like
anything,
baseball or football.
Right.
That's and it's in it's not the white and blue grid.
No,
special.
I think I have now the 3 games that are in like a different form factor, a different color.
What, Rampage,
this, and Bomber Raid.
Oh, okay.
I think I have all 3 now. So that was like the first game I really got on the day, and then I went cold for about like 3/4, and like half of the fourth quarter.
Pat Riley took you out and put
put Manute Bol in.
Yeah, it took you out, let you sit the bench, ride the pine for a little bit.
I've been holding this banana for
I know, I see. I think you just like holding it rather than eating it.
I'm gonna take a bite, Trenton, while you go and then we'll let the little guy take one.
Oh, why does he got? Okay,
Can I
that's
just
right.
do my last 3 things?
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is not really game related. It's just a Fortnite.
It is game related.
It's all game related.
It's
It's there.
just a Fortnite Super Soaker.
How is that? What do you mean it's not game related? It's Fortnite.
Whatever. Because
Why don't you show everybody? Why are you throwing it down?
Because it's the most boring thing.
No, it's not. It's the Combat SMG made into a Super Soaker.
Squirt gun.
Is there water in there?
No, it's just pumping air into my eye.
It looks pretty cool. It's got the really vibrant colors, and
clack 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 clack.
Well made Chinese equipment.
Yeah. Nerf or nothing.
Yeah. So you're gonna shoot Jackson with that?
No.
Got a snake in your boots
You're
there?
gonna shoot Daddy?
So please comment down below what is this Pokemon's name? I cannot remember.
But you just got it. You don't even know what it is.
Do you want me to say?
I don't remember.
Do you want me to say?
Why, you know who it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's Dratini.
Oh.
Oh, he blew it.
And he's got like a piece of metal going all through his body,
Oh
so you
yeah,
can
so
form him.
Yeah, so you could bend and twist.
And you and Jackson were fighting with your Pokemons.
in the cafeteria.
Like they were swords.
Yeah, they were literally
Like
swords.
He-Man's are ka-king.
And then what's the last one
You
you
got your
playing?
one game of the day.
Yeah.
This is-
Hey, listen, if you're gonna get one game, make it count.
So it's
Yes.
Nickelodeon. It's a Game Boy game. Rugrats, Time Travelers.
Is that Game Boy Color? It's if it's in a black
Both.
cart?
It's a combo cart. Yep, Game Boy
okay.
Color and regular Game Boy. And one of the
It's
reasons
got Dill in it.
does it have Dill?
Yeah.
One
Phil
of
and
the
Lil
one
and
of the
Dill?
reasons you like Rugrats is because why? You've been watching the show,
Yeah.
all the episodes, the movies.
I'm not.
It's amazing, guys. Like the video games of the time and also the TV shows of the time, it transcends time because even kids today like to watch this stuff.
Are you sure about that?
Man, I mean, once you boil it down, you actually watch Rugrats. They had the worst parents.
Kind of. They kept losing them.
Yeah, and they wouldn't even know. They'd be gone for 45
They were like,
minutes.
how did they get out of the playpen? This has only happened the 50th time.
Time travelers. I wonder, can only imagine how this is, or what it is.
We got to throw up a video of that so people can see.
That should be interesting on the Super Game Boy.
Yeah, we'll hook it
Game
up.
Boy's over there. I'll just
Was
grab
that
it.
your last pickup? Was that your last thing you got?
Yeah.
All
Basically.
right.
So how do you feel about the day? How did you feel about your day at the show?
Terrible.
No,
It
you
was
don't.
awful.
You're lying.
It was the worst day of my life. I hated it.
Oh yeah.
So you enjoyed it.
Yeah,
My
soccer
legs-
scrimmage in the beginning of the day.
So I was sweaty. I was sweating like a pig.
You don't have to bang the microphone like we said. Yep.
And then my legs were hurting because I was walking around a concrete floor for 6 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
was
you were fine.
it was
You were fine.
I was actually
Reality.
expecting you to tell everybody how privileged you felt that you could actually be, at this wonderful event and able to enjoy this time with
It was
people
the
that you
worst
love
year that I've
and to
been
meet
to.
new friends.
friends. I'm not gonna make friends with strangers.
You can meet new friends.
Anyway.
So you had fun. I'm glad that you had Jackson with you. It's always good to have, if you're going to have one of your kids at these shows, if they can bring a friend. The cool thing with RWX is they allow you to go up to 10 years old, and the kids get in free
On the free
with one paid ticket. So
yeah.
So that was good, and I think it was a success for you, Sal. And you didn't even spend all your money.
I did. I only spent $42,
It's pretty good for $42.
and I had $110 in my wallet.
You were rich by 9-year-old standards.
No, I am not rich.
By any standards.
When I was 7 years old, I had $80 because I saved it.
When I was 7-year-old, I had a Ninja Turtle.
That was rich.
And they were $5.99 back then.
Yeah.
Wait, was it like a plush or what?
No, just a regular action figure.
Oh.
And all you could do, because you didn't have another one to go with it, is just twist the arms back and forth,
Yeah,
just to see it articulate.
Kind of boring.
that's the struggle.
And he had a Game Boy that he couldn't even see the screen with. He had to put it up to the
Yeah,
light just to be able
you
to
have to
see,
play it under the light.
just to see the different Tetris blocks.
It's a real thing.
I like Tetris.
It's a good game. They did have a 4-player Tetris tournament
Oh, yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
Which looks pretty good.
Didn't you say there was like a Fortnite tournament there?
Yeah, there was. I don't see it, but it was on the schedule.
How do you have a Fortnite tournament at the show?
Maybe you can play offline against each other. Can you do that, or online in a private match?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
maybe.
like however many people you do or whatever.
You can't use the link cable and link up all the PS4s?
No, they just use Wi-Fi.
Okay. Very good.
The Jag Link adapter.
Yeah.
That's what they need to do, right? Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll put these next two few things together. I don't know if this was my second pickup or not. I should know this was my third technically. Wasn't on my list, but this is definitely one I believe we talked about with Jesse that me and him used to play a lot that he had. It's one that you
They haven't seen the Jesse podcast yet.
No, I know, but I'm saying we talked about it, and this is one you picked up a few years ago. There, I think you may. Well, would you remember?
I don't
it was
remember.
$30. It may have been 30. So luckily, it's one of those that hasn't really gone crazy up in price, which is surprising. Which is the Eternal Champions Challenge from the Dark Side on the Sega CD. $40, which is about what it goes for. I wasn't gonna really haggle them. I was trying to look for
40?
Yeah, I was trying to look for something else, but I didn't. I was like, you know what? I've wanted it for a while. $40. You know, it's only gonna go up. Yeah, it's a solid game. It's just mainly I wanted it because it was one that we played as a youngin back in the day.
Yeah, I wish I knew what I got later on that you had bought this, because maybe we could have packaged everything up and gotten a better deal, because they were really nice people.
Oh yeah, because that's where you got their stuff at
these
the
folks
end,
from Boston, I forget what their name was. What was it here? The
Game,
Replayed.
Oh, Replayed. Yep.
They were the nicest, like most like open people that will actually make a deal with you.
Yeah, he's got a lot. He's always got a lot of good stuff. He was there last year too.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. I think I bought something.
They're great people, down to earth people, like really nice.
I think I bought a Game Boy game. I think it was that Fall of the Foot Clan on the Game Boy. I got there last year.
You were looking for Turtles Back from the Sewers?
Yeah, there was a guy that had it for $20, and I just didn't end up getting it.
There was a guy who had it down the way. When I got the next game I'm going to show, and it was the Italian version of the game.
You sure it was the Sewers one?
Yeah. It was Back from the Sewers.
Yeah.
The Italian version.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. And he wanted me to pay $45 for it.
Because it's the Italian version?
I'm like, he goes, his girlfriend was like, oh, he said you're probably not going to want it because it's the Italian version. I was like, well, I am Italian. I don't speak Italian, but
as long as it plays on the Game Boy,
if it plays, because it's, I guess, region free. And she's like, yeah, he said it's like a $50 game. We'll give it to you for $45. I was like, no. I was actually looking for you.
Just straight up no.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not.
You were like, ew.
How much does it go for?
$20.
So why would
or $15? I was going to offer the guy $15 for it. He probably would have taken it, but I just.
But this is the kind of stuff that we were experiencing with some people. It was like,
what are we doing?
Yeah, like it just didn't make any sense of like why, like where the prices were coming from. So,
yeah.
And it seemed that there were more people making crazier prices this year than there were in any year past.
Yeah, so we could talk. Actually, let me talk about one of the other ones.
I hate to say that. I hate to be like a bummer or a downer.
Well,
but
I mean, you did the good and the bad, and not everything's perfect, and not everything's terrible. Right. I mean, just being real.
Right. You can't do that anymore. You can't do that in 2023.
Not gonna sugarcoat it and say every vendor had the best stuff and like rub up and try to get some spot there next year or something.
Yeah. I know.
So actually, I'll just go through this stuff because it kind of leads into another thing I wanted to mention.
Well, I'll talk about this.
So actually, then actually I probably picked this up before Eternal Champions, but obviously we're always looking for manuals and boxes. And what's his
Jeff from Pack Family.
Pack Family. He's always got manuals and boxes. So there's a few I grabbed at the beginning.
He only does Retro World Expo.
I know that's what he said. Yeah. So whatever. There's a few I was missing. Ren and Stimpy, Stimpy's Invention on Genesis. King of the Monsters 2 for the Genesis, and Super Street Fighter 2 manual for the Genesis. And I was also, because I have Revenge of Shinobi on the Genesis, but I didn't have the manual. And they had the manual, and there was no price on it. So I was like, I had these, which came to $24. That one didn't have a price on it, so I was like, would you just take $30 for all these? And then the girl was like, I don't. She's asking the other guy. She's like, oh, I think if they don't have a price, they're $4. I was like, oh, well, I mean, I'll give you 30.
30 for all of them?
Yeah, because it didn't have a price. She's like, I think if they don't have a price, they're $4. And then she asked, and then some other kid looked it up on eBay, and he's like, "Oh, we'll do 19." I was like, "No, I'll just." He's like, "I'll just take."
Don't you love when they look it up on eBay?
I'll just take these ones. But it brings me because you were looking for Revenge of Shinobi, and someone had it for like 90.
I wasn't really looking. Did I mention that on the?
Well, I don't know.
Pre-show?
It seemed like when you were there, you like really wanted to find Revenge of Shinobi because you were looking at a few spots or whatever.
Okay.
Because that person had it for 90, and you're like, "This is like it's like a $60, maybe $70 game."
Yeah, it's like a $60 to $65 game on eBay.
Yeah, and it's like $90, and I was like, maybe you can get a better deal on the manual, and then maybe find it with just the cart, and the box. But then some other person had it for $59.
I mean, even if it was, let's say the game goes for $65, if you paid $65, you'd be making out because you don't have to pay tax. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know.
But at the same time, like they're not having to pay the 15% eBay fee, so or whatever it is.
It's basically 15%.
So a fair price would be $60. Like that would be the most fair price to do. Like $5 under what eBay does.
Yeah.
unless you get more than one thing, and then maybe you can get an even better price.
Yeah, but when you're already $20 over, it's like you can't even make an offer on it because it's like obviously they're not going to take $25 off a game if that's what they're listing it for, and then so,
like I said, you can't really negotiate with them if they've already got it for a price that's just egregious.
And then so to couple it with what you're going to say next, I also grabbed to help you get a little bit better a deal on the manual you're looking for is Captain America and the Avengers for the Genesis, which these 4 things were the only Genesis things I picked up today.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Usually we've got like a
it's just a stack
plethora
of Genesis.
But I think we've kind of hit our max. I mean, we've hit it.
Well, the thing is,
at some point I'd like to get Gunstar Heroes complete, but that's like $150 game.
Yeah.
At least that's what they was going for today at the show. I don't even know what it goes for online.
Yeah, but I mean, even the Genesis games I was looking for, I didn't see one of them. Not like no one. The BOB game. I saw Jewel Master.
I saw 2 copies of BOB on Super Nintendo.
Yeah. The BOB. I saw I did see that Jewel Master, but I didn't realize it was like that the woman that had the Revenge of Shinobi. She had it for $70. I was like, I thought it was like a $30 or $40 game. But
did you look it up?
Yeah, I guess it is going. I thought it was like a $30 or $40 game. I was mistaken.
Well, you can admit that one.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show, like, it was just the whole show was just all over the place. It's like nothing had any rhyme or reason as far as what people were charging in a reasonable sense. You know what I mean? Like, expensive games are expensive, but like the variance on what the expense was different with depending on where you went.
Yeah, well, even obviously with mine, even on lower value games,
a pretty large percentage too. Yeah. So
I don't know. So then, to complete your little set you got there.
And so like, I don't know. I'm gonna tell you like what was there. So I needed the manual for Beyond Oasis. I mentioned that I think last podcast or maybe the one where we haven't released yet. Because I got Beyond Oasis, and so I did get one. It's this one, and it looks like a dog chewed something out of it.
But
so there's a little square out of the front, right? And so he wanted $8 for this. He had 2 other manuals. One was like all sticky on the back. Now, who has 3 Beyond Oasis manuals?
He had 2 other ones besides.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know there was 2 more.
He had 2 more. One was like all sticky in the back. Like there was like brown gunk all in here.
Some Faygo root beer.
Yeah, and he wanted $25 for that. It was all intact, meaning there was a little box. But he wanted $25 for the one that I don't know if you can clean that.
Yeah, probably not.
Like I think this one is in better shape,
especially because it's
considering
it doesn't have it's not the gloss paper. That's it's when Sega went to the cheap black and white.
Right.
Like the matte. Almost,
Yeah, for the best games, they put, a black and white manual in.
Yeah.
Like black and white front and back.
Yeah, like you couldn't take, like on the other ones, like if someone wrote Sharpie on those, you can get it off a little bit, but on those, it's just the paper. It's just in the paper. It's not, you can't get it off.
So he had like, the cool thing about Jeff is that he does have his stuff like in like a old like photo album. So you can see, you can flip through and it's easy to do it. And most of those are going to be like really choice.
Well, it says
manuals.
rare Genesis manuals.
So right next to the one that was full of chocolate was another one that was in pretty, awesome shape, like really good shape. And he wanted $33 for that. And he doesn't budge on his manuals or his stuff that much.
He's like, what's the price? It's what I have.
Yeah, it's what I have. And I would argue that he actually knows the market and prices things to where they are for the most part. But it doesn't mean you always want to pay that.
Yeah.
So I was like, what do I do? Do I maybe just try to make a deal? Do I offer him less? But he's kind of like, he's a tough guy to...
He's a stickler.
Yeah, he's a stickler when it comes to that. And then you were going through, like, there was a stack of manuals that were in, like, a little bin that he had, and this one was in there for $8.
Yeah, I just happened to see it. I was like, well, it's got a square out of it, but it's only $8.
Well,
I mean...
And it's not a square all the way through. It's only the first 2 pages, which, of course, the front cover, that's, kind of a critical thing. But the difference between $8, which I ended up getting it for $5, and $33 is a relatively large difference. And to me... I still have the manual. Like this is the manual. Like I have the manual. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let anybody say, "Oh, well, there's a chunk out of it." Like, no. This is you want to judge that as something.
Like it's not like you're gonna resell it.
No, that's what I'm gonna say. Like I'm not gonna resell this game. So to me, I have it the way that I want it. Yeah, it's got a little chunk out of it. Somebody chewed it. But first of all, who the heck cuts a piece out of this?
Like a square just out of the first 2 pages.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and then the rest of it is like
it was
fine.
obviously a rental because it's got that sticker on the top. Like,
Yeah, which I don't even know if I want to remove.
Nah, I mean, it's whatever, you know.
But, you know, I got a complete in-box Beyond Oasis. I'm pretty ecstatic about that now. So
like, it's hard to justify even spending more than like $20 on a manual because it's like it's a manual.
Yeah,
you know?
and this copy actually has like the registration card in it.
Oh, nice.
So yeah,
solid, man, real solid.
Yeah. So we'll slide that in there and forget about it for a year.
Forget about it
until we actually boot this game up.
Yeah.
So, you want me to keep going? You want me to do one more?
Well, you got a few left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'll just do these. Actually, this was one I was looking for that you ended up giving me because you had. And actually, I didn't even see this one loose, and it's a really common game.
I don't think it's that big of a deal.
No, I know, but I didn't even see it loose. Which is Tecmo World Wrestling, which I mentioned. I was kind of looking for. I was like, if it was complete, I mean, I would have maybe have grabbed it for $20 or $30, but you had it.
And I shined up the contacts, and just so you guys know, we're going to be releasing a little kind of a shorter video for us, just detailing how to clean your cartridges, and it might be a little controversial, so stay tuned for that because
controversial.
Well, because there's a lot of people that say not to do this, and I kind of explain and give it a little bit more context on if you use it, how to do it.
Context is king.
But that's shined up and ready to go, and it'll work for years
real nice
to come.
Yeah, and then another one I was looking for that you ended up grabbing, and I didn't even know you grabbed it, which was one that
I got it with this game right here, so you can talk about that.
The guy you just mentioned,
Jeff. Jeff from Pack Family.
Yeah, Pack Family. That he had like 2 copies of this in box for like $30, which was like wasn't bad. And I was like, maybe later. But then you said, I got it loose for you. I was like, oh, all right, cool. Which is Cobra Triangle for the NES, which I'm loaded up on NES games today. Another one inexpensive game to have that I just kind of saw a few months or not too long ago on YouTube. I don't know. I can't remember who it was, but they said it was a really solid game. I was like,
so that had they wanted 10 on that, and then they wanted 10 on this one, which this is a $10 game all day long.
Which I saw that in your bag. I was like, why'd you get that?
And I'll explain why.
Yeah.
So the game is Medal of Honor Underground, and
on the PS1.
On the PS1, and so my explanation for this is I remember this is before. Is this before? Is this 2000? Okay, so this was. I can't remember exactly why I chose this, other than maybe I had played GoldenEye, and I wanted to play another first-person shooter. But Steven Postemski had Medal of Honor 1. I remember watching that at his house, and I always wanted to play like a World War II era.
No, I know they're good games.
Medal of Honor 1 was considered a great game, and I said, you know what, I want to get one of these. And the Medal of Honor Underground had just gone into the Greatest Hits series
at the time.
And it was like $20 or $30.
Yeah.
And so I got it on on a cheaper price, and I played through this game, and I absolutely loved it. Like,
all right, okay, all right.
Now I tried to play it again, maybe like 15 years ago, and I can remember
the same game.
Yeah, I don't know where I played it, but I can remember like the controls to me after playing like more modern games.
Yeah.
The controls to me just seemed really weird.
Did that use the DualShock, or was it still using the D-pad?
I think it was using the D-pad.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
You done with your conversation on your Motorola Razr from 2007?
That's not on during the podcast we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, good job. And then you're banging on the table too, so this is great. Yeah, so this one was 10, and that game, the Cobra Triangle, was 10. And so I just said, would you take 15? And she said, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, nice.
And then she told me that she would give me, Back from the Sewers for 45, and I said, it's the same woman.
She's cutting you a deal on that.
Yeah. On the Italian version, it's much better. They show more turtle in that one.
Yeah, less shell.
Yeah,
there's more coming out of their shells.
All right.
That's the song.
So, this is, again, what they could do with the PS1 at the time, and like kind of pushing the boundaries a little bit. Had really good atmosphere. I do remember really good atmosphere with this one.
Good atmosphere.
So, yeah, I mean, maybe I'll put it in, maybe I won't.
But you have they.
Yeah, but it is a good game. So if you guys want to get a new PS1 game, you've never heard of this or never played it before, check it out.
Sick. Real sick.
I think I'm gonna go again. So
yes.
So I showed you guys that stuff, but in reality, there was really only between Medal of Honor Underground, Cyborg Hunter, and Alien Syndrome. Alien Syndrome actually would go into this latter half of like the last 3 games I got. These other ones, it was literally most of the day, and I just was not having good luck with this stuff. And again, I wasn't really even asking people because their prices were just sort of outlandish. And then right as we're ready to walk out, like everybody's ready to walk out, tuckered out. I'm like, let me just go into this area here again because I saw
a little section real quick.
And I look into this like glass case that's standing and it's got LED lights on it, and I see this one game that I've been looking for all day long.
All day.
And the prices were different by like up to 30% depending on where you went.
Yeah, one person had it for 125.
Yeah.
And you were almost.
I saw it for 130.
You were thinking about offering 100, right?
Yeah. And then complete the game.
Well, let's not even go there.
Is like 280 or something like that.
Oh, I thought it would be way more than that for some reason.
I think so. Yeah. So at least that's what I was seeing, and I'm not familiar. I don't know to judge them not, but this game goes for like I don't know, $85 online, maybe $90 on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
And so the game, and I'm so happy I have this because I love the series, but I've never played this game, and it's the first one in the series, and that is Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars. I had to make sure I had that right.
Boom.
So it's an RPG?
Yeah.
It is. It's made by Square for the Super Nintendo, and this was one of those games that at the end of the Super Nintendo's life just kind of edged the Super Nintendo forward as like,
we're almost 32-bit.
Yeah, like between Donkey Kong Country, Star Fox, and games like this, you know, I feel like those other like Super FX games get lost. Like people don't really care about them, but games like this, the way they were able to do the sort of 3-dimensional look and then make it a 2-dimensional
digitized kind of
like the 3/4 perspective. But this is the first Paper Mario game, and it's not Paper Mario. And I've always been interested in it. I've always wanted to get it, and of course I had to wait till it was ballooned in price.
80.
But I ended up getting this. I asked him, would you take 80? And I was a little worried about it, and he said, I could do 90. So he had 100 on it, and I said, how about 85? And he said, yeah, sure, why not? So he was just a really nice guy about it. And then I walk in a little bit further after I've already paid him, and I'm like, you know what? I got my game. I'm so happy. It's done. I see a stack of Saturn.
Oh, I got the video
games.
of you. I got the video of you.
Are you going to insert that in this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You should do it without audio so that I can talk over it, as I am right now. But I'm looking through and I see like Strikers 1945, and I see like I see Darius Gaiden, and I'm seeing like all of these like. I'm like getting excited, right? I'm like, because I hadn't seen really any Saturn import games anywhere. Yeah. There was like maybe 2 or 3. This one guy's like, oh, I got this great one. It's like this anime chick, and like she's going through this world. She's got this adventure. I'm like, I don't want to know anything about that. I don't want that. I want this game.
I don't want that.
And there it was, and I saw it, and I was just like,
oh,
this is so appropriate that at the end of the day, that I actually find the 2 games that I wanted pretty much more than anything.
From the same person.
Aside from Spitfire Attack and Midnight Magic Atari, which I couldn't find. And so that game is Metal Slug on the almighty Sega Saturn.
Why did you want it?
And he had it for He had it for 80. I got it for 70. He made me another deal.
I'm pretty sure you'd be the only person looking for that game. It's kind of like me when I was looking for Fight for Life for the Jaguar.
Absolutely not. And what you said just makes absolutely no sense, and it's outlandish. And don't ever say anything like that again. It makes complete sense. Fight for Life and Metal Slug are not even in the same conversation.
Well, first of all, we're talking about an import version of Metal Slug.
Right. But this is Metal Slug for Sega Saturn, though.
I'm just making a comparison of the type of person is looking for a specific type of game that
all right, there's some
only a few people are looking for.
Right.
Okay.
I understand.
No, we got there.
But there are people
He a little slow, but he got his.
But there are people looking for import Sega Saturn games.
I mean, are people looking for Jaguar games too, but there's not many.
Okay, how many Jaguar games did you see? That's actually a good thing to mention. Like, there were not many Jaguar games.
No, there were
like
really
almost
weren't.
none.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a couple boxed, maybe like 3 or 4.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was like right at the end. I ended up with these two games, which were, I don't know if I mentioned it in the last one, but I was like, these are kind of like, if I could find these two, like that would
save my day. Now, is Metal Slug in English, or does it have Japanese text
English
and stuff?
I'm pretty sure it's all in English.
Okay.
Yeah, but I did find out afterwards. I was looking it up, and I do need a RAM card to play it.
Don't you have one? Or did yours?
No,
I thought you had a couple of them.
I have the ST key, which does the Japanese games, but then you need the extra RAM to be able to run it.
So what do you need? So
I need a pseudo cart. It's like a
both of them.
It's a cart that has both import and so I have to pick one of those up, which is fine. But that's not the limiting factor. Like finding this game was like a kind of a special thing. So it really. It was up until that last probably, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
I had like 2 games,
Hey.
And so I like doubled my amount in that last 5 minutes or whatever. And
play it as it lies,
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, to sum it up, it was a good show, but I don't know. At one point during the show, I started to ask myself, do I should I get excited about these things like the way that I have? Because it just seems like the show is starting to kind of like I don't know, on the seller front, it's just starting to sort of I don't know, devolve a little bit, like into before, like when I remember when the show was at Wallingford when we went there, people were making crazy deals back then. Now I know that the prices have changed. But in terms of what they go for online versus what they were selling them for,
honestly, I couldn't.
You could find much better deals at the show floor, but
yeah, I don't even remember.
Maybe that's because they weren't charging them that much. Maybe that's because they were trying to get the show off the ground, and maybe it was just a little bit more easier to make deals. But
and then
it just seems like there's just a lot of there's a lot of inflation on even what the sellers are doing over eBay, and so it's become somewhat frustrating.
Yeah, so I'll just blow through this last few things real quick. So actually, the first time I picked up figures there in a while, just because the figure prices have gone crazy, and I actually paid a little bit more for 2 figures that I didn't look up beforehand because I had thought in my mind they were worth more, or not worth more, that they're just priced higher, but they
wait
weren't.
a while.
So Trent, you were saying as we
before
we were so rudely interrupted.
My last pickups were I got the Acolytes, Elite figures, Bradshaw and Farouk, which I paid a little bit more than what they were worth, but it's whatever. That's my bad.
I mean, how much more did you pay though?
No, I know, like $10 more, but it's whatever. Then I got the old school Jerry Lawler, the King Jerry Lawler,
the King
in his like 90s outfit.
I feel like which should be a common one, but.
Yeah, and then the final figure was Michael P.S. Hayes, Doot of the Freebirds.
Oh, from way back.
Yeah. Which they had for $30, and it's literally like a $15, $20 figure.
Show everybody just the hair on that chest.
I mean, yeah, look.
Jeez.
I'll do a picture of it, but yeah, he's got the stunner shades on. Yeah, I mean, he was a character back then. He had it for $30, and I was like, hey, man, I don't want to insult you, but would you like take 20 for it? Because like the box is beat up. Because I'm gonna take it out of the box anyway. And he was like, "How about 22?" I was like, "All right."
He had to get his win.
Yeah, because it's literally only a $20 figure, but it's it's whatever. I was like, okay. Yeah. It was one I didn't have, and then the last game I got,
and you have to have it.
Yeah, and the last game I got is a game we used to play all the time as kids. Is Super Off Road.
Yeah, there you go.
He had it for 25. I got it for 20. Someone else had it for 40. The only thing is that it's missing the little tabs on the top.
Oh.
But it's not like a high value game, so it's not like that's not really important to me. I already have it, but so then I'll just get rid of the loose cart, whatever,
It's a Trade West game, which is
a fun game. 4 players. You play 4 player on this?
Oh, I didn't know you could do 4 player with that.
Yeah.
Because I have it, but I don't have it in the box like that.
Oh yeah.
I don't even have it in the cart.
We should definitely
because I had to switch the cart out.
Yeah, if there's ever some time we can get some people to play it. It's a fun 4 player game. Yeah, so pretty solid. Picked up NES games that I wasn't really planning on getting. Picked up figures.
How many games that you were looking for did you end up buying?
2.
Was it?
Rad Race. To the Earth and To the Earth and Cobra Triangle, which you got me. So technically 1 because you got it for me.
That one. Yeah.
Yeah. and then figures that I wasn't planning on buying at all. But so goes the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I enjoyed myself.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't find everything I was looking for, but that's fine. I didn't spend all my money, and that's always good.
Yeah.
And I still felt like I accomplished a lot.
So I ended up with Medal of Honor Underground, which I wanted.
Did you even mention that?
I don't know if I mentioned it in my, because I had a bunch of PS1 games on here.
Yeah.
I had like Colin McRae Rally, Einhander.
Oh, you actually? I thought you were joking
No,
when
I
you
did.
said that at the show.
Vagrant Story I had on here as well. As well as Midnight Magic and Spitfire Attack.
Yes.
Metal Slug was on my list, so that's 3. But then, remember when I was looking at you kind of strange when I saw the Raiden Project on PS1?
Yeah, on PS1, yeah.
And you were like, what is it? Is it a good price? And I was just like, I gave like that Michael Squints Palladorus smile when I was like,
whoever that is, yes.
From Sandlot when he's got that goofy
Michael
smile.
Squints, all right. Yeah,
Squints.
yeah.
Remember when he's passed out
Just
on the pool and then he opens his eyes and looks at his friends like.
The full name didn't register. That's why I was like, who?
And then he kisses her.
Yeah. And he wakes right up. She's like, ah.
Yeah. So last night before we went to bed, I made a deal on eBay and I bought Raiden Project for $60.
It's like true life. I'm addicted to gaming. It's like last night I broke down and I went on eBay.
Yeah. But I ended up finding it last night and I literally put done right next to it after it was done. And I didn't want to talk about it until right now. So it's complete with like the registration card and everything, just in like immaculate condition.
Same price? I don't know what it was at the show.
He wanted 70 and the case was all mashed up. The registration card had been ripped out and I was like, I didn't even want to look at the disc. So I was like, I was pretty happy about that, So I ended up with 4 games over the course of 26 hours.
26 hours.
All right. Yeah.
So we did it. We made it.
So anyways, thank you guys for joining us. If you've been to these shows, tell us your thoughts. Give us your perceptions on what you like, what you don't like. We did get to see some friends of the show. Samurai Sam was there. Nomad Steve was there.
Shout out to Retro Games Plus, too, holding it down right in the front.
Yeah, they did a great job. Ryan did a great job. The whole, Chris seems to get better and better in terms of how they manage the show, the show floor, and just everything goes off without a hitch. They've got it really tied up really well there. So kudos to you guys. Congratulations. Thanks for inviting all the YouTubers there as well as the personalities. It's a great show. It's, I wonder if in the future it'll get to the point where I'm not even looking for games. I'm just kind of
just going,
and
there's always a game to be found.
Yeah, I guess there is.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing too.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us. Remember that all good things start with that man right above. Be safe, be happy, and healthy, and as always, keep it turbo.
And to the earth.
Welcome to NBA Jam Family on Fire Edition. Tonight's matchup, Sal Jr. versus Sal Sr. Sal Jr. in the lane. He says, I can't go to work without my coffee and donuts. Tell you what, Daddy, you bring the coffee and I'll bring the Dunkin'. Boom shakalaka. Sal Jr. says the Dunkin' drive-thru lane is always open for me. Kaboom!